Hello, everyone. Welcome to the very first, and I'm fucking super excited about this, Die Party Game Day. Woo, yay.
Game day!
Oh, yeah.
Game day! Oh my god! Let's all get naked!
No.
Separately in our own homes.
Calm down,
Well, yeah,
baby.
Nobody else is on the
I'll put my
webcam.
pants back on.
Everybody else get naked, but Dave, take your pants off from the waist down.
And pull the shirt up a little bit. Just give him something to stare at.
You wanted me to show a little bit of the old belly button?
Skin. I want a little bit of skin.
Show me that belly button. Anyways, guys, Die Party Game Day, in case you're watching on the archive later on, is literally a marathon stream where we do Hollow Earth Expedition and Blood Jews back to back in one day, one session, over on my Twitch and Hitbox channels. So you should definitely go follow that and hang out with us on Saturdays, man, because that shit is stupid fun. Anyways, guys, so what we're playing right now is Hollow Earth Expedition. This is week number, I'm going to say 6. I could be wrong. Let me just double check, because I have the ability.
I think we've done more than 6.
I think we might be at 7. I should have came more prepared for this. But, yes, week number 7. Woo! Go us.
All right.
So, the last game that we had started off a little slow, simply because of the fact that it would taken a 3-week break in between episodes. But let me go ahead and introduce our players for this morning. Actually, it's 10 a.m. First up, we have Frank playing Art Strathorn.
Hello, puppets.
Secondly, we have...
Thank God he doesn't talk like that all the time.
Thank God.
Well, I don't
Thank
do the
God,
accent.
because
I call
Maction is here
puppets,
playing
so.
Otto Schultz.
Yes, indeed I am.
And he actually has a decent accent, so...
No, I bow down to
Frank.
Maxon's German. He's
Yeah.
even got the actual words in there. Holy Christ.
Maction, are you better at like British Cockney than he is?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Governor.
My great strength is that I recognize that no matter what the accent is, I'm failing horribly at it.
You undersell yourself,
Damn it.
sir.
No. That's how you do good. You fail gloriously, and people assume you know what you're doing.
It's
Mhm.
falling with style.
Oh, you guys ain't even heard me fucking Irish yet.
Anyway,
Hey,
I will be
Remarkably
playing...
indistinguishable from your Cockney.
I will be playing
That's
Rex Holt.
because my cocky is
Shut
so
up!
goddamn Irish.
Dave
I-
is Rex Hold.
I will
Let's
be
just
playing
talk
Rex
over
Holt.
Dave for 20 minutes now.
I can
Be
actually
cool.
mute you guys, so fuck you. And last but not least, we have Wreckage, who is our game master.
Hi, everybody.
For this particular session. So
We're gonna roll some dice.
yeah. So we're playing Hollow Earth Expedition. Rec, do you remember what happened last week? Because
Yeah, lots of things happened last week after being introduced to the culture of Shangri-La. The cunning Rex Holt spotted a interesting face in the crowd and picked out Otto Schultz as a person of interest worth talking to. And you guys had a little clandestine meeting in which you determined that Otto Schultz knows a lot about the place and may not necessarily be playing ball. But you didn't pick up much more than that. He played it a little close to the chest.
yeah,
You attempted to get Clendon on your side for clandestine activities, but he was completely enamored with the place and not interested in potentially leaving ever, for all you know.
he's a real jerk. I don't like him now.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't think he was a jerk before when he was treating Derek with zero respect.
Yeah, but everyone was treating Derek with zero respect. So
The thing is that I kind of figured that Derek would take that zero respect as an excuse to step up and fucking own shit. And no, then he died.
Yeah,
and then he died.
Yeah.
It just proves everything. But anyway.
And he was forgotten about almost immediately.
Yeah, Last episode, we're like, what the fuck was his name?
I've had to carry my backpack. I've had to carry my backpack for like 2 episodes now. I will never forget the dude who carried my backpack before that.
Oh, Pac-Man's dead. Oh.
Never forget.
Never forget.
I mean, God.
Having concerned that Otto was at least something of an ally, you got together and talked, and eventually you found your way back into your, I would say, private quarters, but Arch Strathhorn insisted on being roomies, so you guys could do your hair and nails together.
Keep going.
That night, while sleeping, Otto and you guys were visited upon by some nosy monks. Otto woke to their presence and was able to shoo them away before they noticed his secret laboratory.
It's
Or
not
his
really
gun,
secret,
actually.
right? I mean, isn't it just the stuff that he stole that they were after?
Probably. I mean, the fact that he has built a shed onto his house is obvious to anybody who looks. The contents of the shed are not necessarily known to the monks.
Oh, really? Okay. I thought that he was allowed to do his scientific stuff there.
Well, it's a gray area, really.
Yeah, it's like they don't want to prevent him from exploring science or art or anything like that. They want you to get up to pretty much whatever you're getting up to. But Otto's also expressly stealing the things that they take from people, so they most likely don't want people to have those things. He'd probably get a slap on the wrist if they found out.
But when that slap is delivered
slap.
by a Yeti, it's significantly more of a maiming.
Well,
Like
and they
the
would almost
whole
certainly
tongue
confiscate
loose.
the things in question. So
Yeah.
really, what's at stake is losing those things, not so much being mauled to death by a Yeti. Anyway, Rex Holt and Arch slept through both attempts at noticing the stealthy ninja-like monks from...
Yeah, because somebody doesn't know how to wake up the other guy who's staying awake all night.
Well, you're
Sure.
like, I want to go to sleep first, and I'm like, fine.
I don't actually think that's what happened. Can we go to the records on that one after this?
Let's say that everybody's at fault and move on. You woke in the morning to discover that your things had been returned, although not the things that you would have necessarily wanted, just your clothes. And your precious and cherished weapons had been stolen, unless they were just like a melee weapon.
Dastardly stolen.
You kept your knives and your axes and your cudgels, if you had such a thing. But firearms were confiscated. In response to this, Rex Holt tried to make some trouble in the monastery, but it quickly became apparent that these guys are also Buddhist monks and will tolerate pretty much anything. But they will then look at you over their spectacles very condescendingly and be like, really? Really? So Rex didn't get his gun back, and instead decided to set off with the mafiosos to explore on foot the rest of the Shangri-La Valley, which turned out to be at least semi-fruitful when he discovered some sort of a forest man living away from the village, who invited him back to his cabin. So perhaps he'll learn something from
Crumpets
him.
and butt sex.
Well,
and probably like tea too. don't make this weird.
Meanwhile, enjoying a delicious breakfast back at the monastery, Frank and Otto started chatting up the abbot, Shah's Regal, and Frank was able to talk him into returning his weapon sans ammunition, because he convinced them that it had sentimental value.
It actually does. Like
It actually does.
You know, that's the exact same reason why Rex was so fucking furious of his weapon being taken too.
Well,
but
Rex,
but it's
you
not for
have
the
frickin'
not for the
argue
sentimental reasons that Yours was. It's for the exact opposite sentimental reasons, if that makes any sense.
Because he gets really sentimental when you shoot people?
No,
What's
no.
the sentiment? I don't know what you're getting at.
No, it reminds him. It's
more
basically
convinced?
there to remind him of the fact that he bought into a life that he's not happy with.
You know what? I have to look up
it's-
the opposite of sentiment now.
It's one of those, like, I'm not gonna get my like scar repaired because that's the scar
Yeah.
when that died because I was too arrogant or something.
Yeah, a little like that. Basically,
So the gun's your symbol of resentment.
yeah, basically. A long story short, Rex...
Don't tell.
Okay, wait. Okay.
I mean, I guess you can tell in character if you're gonna tell anybody.
Yeah.
That was a perfect put down, Rick. That was beautiful.
No, well, I mean, like, it might come up at some point. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean,
Let it come up when it does. I mean,
talking about his character's secrets. He's actually gonna kill you guys. Watch out.
What's with
well,
all
it's
the
not-
what's with all the chunky fairy princess thing going on here, man?
all the voices?
Yeah.
High energy in the morning.
Oh, cool.
Um,
All
I'm
right.
kind of the opposite, so.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Realizing that his cherished gun was most likely with everybody else's possessions, and suspecting, as he did, that these things were stored on the other side of a inaccessible iron grate in the basement, Frank and Otto worked together to
Don't
hide.
you mean Arch?
Right, Arch.
Okay.
Arch is just a really dumb name.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb.
Arch is an amazing name. You guys are the dumb ones. Archibald.
Man,
Tybalt,
this intro is
Strapper.
taking forever. Get to the point.
Keep going. Keep going.
We're having fun. We like to have fun here. Otto and Arch work together to hide Arch in the big casks of booze.
That's
underneath.
right. That fucking whole fucking. Oh my god.
Yeah. Hey, you shut the fuck up, man. That's the most genius idea that's ever happened in this game.
Yeah.
He
Right
hid
after actually shooting ourselves.
underneath the barrels, just in time for some monks to walk past, and Otto to distract them. The monks acquired some spirits and left, leaving Arch with the plan of sitting there underneath the barrels, not moving, until someone passes through the iron grate, determining the mechanism by which someone might do that.
It is the only way.
Yeah. So that's where we're going to pick up today.
All right.
Mhm.
Cool.
With Frank under the barrel. Otto,
Jawohl.
as you're the one who actually has some agency at the moment, those monks that you needed to distract have acquired their alcohol and left the basement.
Well then, in that case, I imagine I will head out. Oh, Herr Arch, did you say you needed sandwiches?
Yeah, a sandwich would be good. Also, like a pot or something, so I can kind of, if I have to take a leak or whatnot. that
Jesus
would be
Christ!
swell.
You just want the entire world, don't you, Frank?
Yeah, a pot to piss in a sandwich is all I really need in life.
You're going to take a look around, having said this, in the crawl space that you're in, and it immediately occurs to you that you wouldn't know how to maneuver to use a pot
Sideways.
in the. Yeah.
Are you telling me I wouldn't know how to point my dick away from my body when I piss? Like I could, hey, where there's a will, there's a way, and there is a motherfucking will.
Well, I mean, all right, you can.
No, I mean, I plan on pretty much staying here and sipping booze slowly, so I don't get too drunk. Until
Just drunk enough to convince himself that this was a good idea.
Hey, you know what? That actually takes like 2 fucking steins right there. But yeah. So I plan on staying here for a while, and I would rather not like shit my pants or piss myself.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hollow Earth Expedition, where we talk about the voluntary in things that someone needs to do within a crawl space stuck underneath a giant keg of beer.
Well, listen, if you're going to hide in a crawl space all day, you're going to bet your ass that I'm going to ask you to make a constitution check.
Here's the thing that I would do if I was stuck in a crawl space.
Yeah.
A, not drink anything excessively like you are. B, go to the toilet before I do it. Honestly.
Okay, I didn't know. The thing is that I have no idea when and what time the monks come to go bust through the wall.
That's fine, but
so I have no fucking time of knowing how long I should fucking be here. So I've got to wait. I've got to sit here and fucking wait and count.
Anyways, mere moments pass. Otto, he's asked you for sandwiches and a pie.
Preferably one that is that can be cleaned out easily. That would be swell.
Right. I don't know. I do not know about the pot, but I will return with some sandwiches for you.
Thank you kindly, Otto, sir.
Yes, you're very welcome. Got one little Transylvanian there, and I'll go make a few sandwiches or something.
Yeah, you can make a couple sandwiches.
Give me a stealth roll to make a sandwich
I
without
can
anyone
hold
noticing.
in my hand and munch on, so I don't die.
Well, maybe something like a breakfast croissant with a little, meats and cheese.
I honestly don't think it matters, to be honest, guys.
I'm enjoying this, Dave. You shut the fuck up.
Otto, I would like a perception roll from you.
Indeed. Let me cue that up.
You perceive to notice that this is a dumb situation.
You're just jealous you didn't think of it first, dumb nuts.
All right, 4 successes.
All right, so everyone watching at home, basically the way that this game works is skills give you extra die to roll. And
it's a dice pool system.
It's a dice pool system, because we had some questions in the chat about it. So the way that it works is on an even, it's a success, and on an odd, it's a failure. So what we do is we roll, in the system, we roll a D2, so that a 2 is a pass and a 1 is a failure. And every time it rolls a 2 on the screen there, as you can see, it counts as a success. So out of 8 die, Maxion, or Otto in his perception check, he passed with 4 successes. And
about average.
Yeah, so about average. And the DC on something like this, what are the normal DCs in a game like this, Rick?
So there's just 2 ways to determine DCs, right? If he's going up against a NPC or a monster or a player character, then they have a roll themselves that he has to beat, which we have been keeping secret so that you don't know people's dice pools. That's sort of the unfortunate thing, too. Like, I can't just show how many successes they got. It would show how many dice they have. Yeah. And that sort of colors things. The other thing is if it's a stagnant task, like picking a lock, say, something that doesn't go against somebody else's dice, then I just determine a DC, usually between 3 or 5.
Yeah.
5 if it's difficult.
Yeah. So the more die you have, the higher chance you have of passing something. So yeah, that's where the skills come in, because you put points into skills in order to get more die associated with those skills when you roll them. So that's why Otto's perception check has 8 die instead of like 2, because he has quite a high perception, as you can see on the screen over here. So anyway, continue. Sorry. Explanation over.
Yeah. So, Otto.
Yeah?
You notice having acquired sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
And
sandwiches. Achievement get.
Yes.
Are you delivering those sandwiches, I presume?
Not immediately, but yeah, pretty close.
Okay, so not necessarily immediately, but the point is, you do notice
Let it get soggy.
some monks that you might not necessarily have noticed that just happen to be hanging around. When you're going to deliver those sandwiches, you just casually wait. They move out of earshot and area, and you are successfully able to stealthily deliver sandwiches you earn the achievement delivery boy. I don't know.
Nice. I like it.
Arch Otto, he comes. He's got sandwiches. He shoves them into the crawl space. It's almost getting a little crowded in here just by virtue of having sandwiches. This is not.
Okay. They won't be there for long.
I mean, this is worse than an apartment in New York. It's very small.
Well, at least
not even rent controlled.
San Francisco.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I'll leave him to his thing. He's a big boy. He'll manage.
I sit on down to some hardcore thumb twiddling, and I just wait. Like I'm twiddling both directions. Like, yeah.
Okay. Your previous stealth roll stands.
How does like, is there a way to like perceive like boredom in this game or anything like that?
Probably psychology checks, I guess.
An empathy check will reveal boredom as much as it will reveal, like mischievous intent or.
Okay, so is there like a like maybe like I don't know, like does it detract from a stealth roll later on if he like fails a boredom check or something? I don't know, like 'cause basically I don't imagine Frank's character being all that great at stakeouts. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's why all those giant barrels of booze are handy.
Yeah, but if someone walks down there and they hear a man just like shuffling underneath like a barrel of booze, I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like you maybe that's like a constitution check or something.
But
I don't know.
But the thing is that playing roleplay wise,
yeah.
the guy's an ex-soldier. He's pretty much been doing boredom, ass clenching terror for however many years World War I was. Like he can't really get past that fact, so he can probably do it.
I get that, and player characters have some sort of liberty there, but like also at some point, like depending, if you're there for like 12 hours, it's like
So for now, at least until an amount of time has passed where I say otherwise, the stealth check that he made stands. And it is assumed that he acts that stealthy until I, for whatever.
Yeah, that's fair.
For whatever random GM reason, I decide he has to roll again, or he has to make a Constitution check when a spider lands on his nose to not scream like a little girl.
He'll just eat it.
Hey, that's food, man. That's protein.
Okay.
For now, Arch, you are in a crawl space. Otto. You're gonna do anything as you go about your day?
Not too much. I'm gonna go back to my lab, work on some stuff.
Okay.
Out of all the Americans you met, are we living up to your expectations?
Oh yeah.
I am. I don't know about you, Dave, but I am the most American of the Americans. I've locked myself in a place where I can't move, and I'm surrounded by alcohol.
Yep, that sounds about right. That sounds about right, yeah.
I will say, you can't easily access the alcohol by yourself, Arch.
But didn't we have that whole discussion of like an arm coming up from underneath the thing and like pouring alcohol into a cup and then coming back
No,
down?
remember I brought the stein with me?
Yeah.
You've got the stein, but that...
Full-on stein of... Or probably, I guess, 2/3 full by now. I've been sipping it pretty straight.
Well, let's put it this way. You're in the crawl space made by the bottom of the barrels, and the bunghole is not at the bottom of a barrel because that's not easy to access.
It's at the front, on the bottom of the front.
Yeah.
Usually a couple inches up for the sediment, but...
Yeah, so, I mean, you would have to... it's not out of reach, but you would be out of your hiding spot to grab it.
Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of just, counting to a bajillion and just seeing what happens.
Counting to a bajillion, then taking a single sip.
All right, you work on stuff in your lab. Is that anything specific? Are you trying to create something? Do you need a roll, or are you just doing that for flavor?
Otto?
Action? Are you dead?
Did we?
No, sorry, I just had to turn off my mic for a minute.
Dead?
He did die.
No, just a coughing fit. I'm good. Yeah, nothing specific in the day.
Okay.
Just doing that because that's what he'd be doing.
Gotcha. Then let's diagonal wipe over to Rex Holt and Balaclava Benny.
Hello.
Henry the Home Run Haddock, and the 4 nameless mafiosos who, despite being nameless, have yet to be killed randomly for dramatic suspense. They're not living up to their designation as red shirts. Rex.
Yep.
You are following a rugged, mutton chop having, safari hat wearing stranger through the forest to his cabin.
I see nothing wrong with this situation.
Everything is peachy. The mafiosos sort of.
Because I did do an empathy check last time, I believe, and I believe it passed, and I believe I got nothing but good vibes from him. So.
Good vibrations.
Oh, Frank, you beat me to it.
I know. I knew it was coming. I had to.
That's sensation. Yeah. He has a machete. And he is using it to clear underbrush as you move along. He isn't making casual small talk, though. And it's a kind of silent, awkward journey.
I believe this is because he's probably hasn't had much human interaction for a while. Maybe.
Well, then interact with him.
Man,
Press E to interact.
And so I say to him, "Is like, do you have people with you?
What?
Are you by yourself?
Yeah. Well, I don't live in the village. Just out here on my own. It's better that way.
Is there a reason for your secludity? Is that a word? It is now.
Well, I don't really enjoy the village. It's a little more pleasant out here, I feel.
Not so invasive with the monks, I suppose.
Oh, well, I don't get any visitors hardly ever out here. Certainly not monks. I don't think. Hope not. Thwack, 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 thwack.
How far away is your hut, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, a little ways. I mean, not much. I don't set the traps too far out, but if I set them too close, the animals don't come near.
Makes sense. So we've been in the valley for I would say probably maybe a day or two.
You've had this is the third. This is day 3 in the valley.
That's all right. I'm still saying what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How long have you been here?
Well, if I'm honest,
That's always
time good. Sort of gets away from you, especially out on your own out here.
Yeah, we had a discussion with a gentleman in the village, and it sounded like he's been here for more than 3 years. And in case you weren't aware, time tends to move a little differently in here.
Well, I mean, I just I sleep when I'm tired, wake up when I'm not. Really don't really have a good grasp on the passage of time either way. I've been here for a while at least.
Okay, all right.
Fishing chop.
Have you ever thought about leaving?
Crackle pop. The monks don't let anybody leave.
Even you? I mean, are they aware of you out here?
Oh, I mean, everybody goes to the village at first for the most part. I mean, it's right up there. Can hardly miss it. I mean, when I came in, I was on the ropes as it was. I don't think I could make it back the way I came.
Rick, what is his accent, if you don't mind me asking? Can I place where he's from?
I mean, it sounds like he just is a little slow. Maybe he hasn't talked in a while. It sounds like he stops and searches for words every once in a while.
I know. I'm trying to place whereabouts in the world that he might have come from before he came here. Like maybe even like his clothing gives it away, or like maybe he has like a brand of watch or something like that, or something
sure.
on his body that would give away where he's from if his accent isn't able to be placed.
Why don't you roll investigation?
I can do that. I do have that skill, and it is a high skill.
Investigate.
Roll 8d2, other way around. It's greater than 2. Yes, that's right. 4 successes.
4 successes. Okay, with 4 successes, his safari clothing is in tatters.
Yeah.
But it is the safari clothing that is generally worn by Western nations. So America, Britain, Australia, maybe. But he definitely doesn't have an Australian accent, as far as you can tell. He could have had a regional accent that he lost. There's some weird inflections here and there. But the accent isn't strong enough now to place accurately. But he's certainly American or British, probably.
Okay. Is there a way that I can surmise... Like, let's say this is his clothing, right? This is the clothing he came in with because it's clearly not robes or any dumb shit that the monks have. Is there a way that I can use a survival check to see how long it would take to get your clothing that battered? Realistically? Like if you're living out here?
That's interesting. Sure. Well, yeah, roll survival check.
Okay. 4 successes.
I mean, so with 4 successes, theoretically, it could happen, in a day.
Yeah.
If it's a really bad day.
Yeah. But let's say, like, it looks like his clothing's, like, being torn, but then, like, repaired, and then maybe
he's
washed.
Wrapped around it, and then, with the, what you do know from survival, which is a pretty decent check, theoretically it could happen in a day, but more likely, it probably multiple years.
Okay.
And, that is, he's just implied that he was already pretty ragged when he stumbled upon this place.
And let's also take into account that maybe I looked at the machete and maybe it's like worn down. Like maybe he sharpened it a lot and it's not the same size that a normal machete would be or something like that.
It's actually a boning knife by now.
Yeah.
There's a joke for you butchers in the audience.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one.
It's actually... I'm going to let you just have that survival check stand, because that was pretty decent.
Yeah.
It is not worn down. Remarkably.
Not worn down, okay.
It is not... it doesn't look like it's been... or had much resharpening done. It isn't like, an inch in from the hilt or anything like that from years of use. It is. It looks not fucking pristine or anything.
But it's not rusted from like the jungle sweat or anything like that.
No, it doesn't look like it's been used for multiple years out in the wilderness.
Interesting. It's like, friend, I couldn't help but notice that while you yourself look like you've been here for years, your equipment looks almost new.
What do you mean?
I mean, your machete.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I kept up the habit of sharpening it for a while, but I noticed it kind of didn't need it. Just sort of holds up by itself these days.
Interesting. Okay. That's actually really interesting. All right then. Yeah, I can't think of too many more questions to ask him right now while he's moving.
Yeah, this conversation will largely occupy a majority of the journey. There was some silence at first, then you started talking, and now you're nearly. I mean, you could basically see it in the distance.
Is that your house over there?
Yeah. Well, I guess more of a cabin. But I suppose it's a house too.
Does it look like he made it himself?
It does look like he made it himself, but it doesn't look like a pile of shit or anything. It's actually got. You can see the tree stumps that were cut down to create what is essentially a log cabin with a stone chimney.
Wait, what did you say the trees were in this jungle?
It's mix between coniferous and deciduous, so it's the sort of stuff that you would find in the American Northeast or Northwest.
Okay, and how has he put the logs together? Does he have like sticks going up?
Well, if you're familiar with log cabin making, which you may or may not be, there are two methods to getting the logs to stay together. You can sort of use I'm not familiar with specifically what it is, the substance itself, but there is sort of like a masonry thing. It's not masonry, but it's much like mud or something. You put it in between the layers and they harden together. The other way is you actually cut them so that they fit together, just a little bit, and then the weight keeps them together and the walls up.
Sure. Which one of that is it?
It looks like they may have been cut such that they fit together.
Interesting. And how high are the walls?
It's a decent. It's not like short. Like you don't look like you're gonna have to stoop to get in. Okay. It's certainly one room. And it'll be a tight squeeze for all of you, but it would probably be pretty comfortable for one dude.
All right, so having seen all this, I let the guy sort of go ahead a little bit, and I put my hand on Balaclava's chest, and I'm like, be careful. This guy might have more people here, or he had people here and they're no longer here for some reason. So clearly something's going on.
Balaclava Benny shrugs, like, if you say so, man. He just seems like a forest guy to me. But,
yeah, but that type of building that takes more than one person to put together. So be careful.
I don't know. I've heard stories from Gramps. And you go out and carve your own destiny, make your own place.
As he starts talking about his grandpa. I don't care.
His reminiscing fades into the distance.
Yeah.
Where you go? Where do you go?
I go back up to the guy, obviously. So
yeah. Yep. He's opening the front door and sort of motioning you in. The door doesn't really fit the frame of the house. It looks like he just sort of chopped up some. It looks more like leftover branches or something from the construction that he affixed together into a door, and it doesn't fit perfectly.
Okay.
But he opens it. You go right in if you want.
Yeah, I'll go in. It's also worth pointing out that we lost Frank from the call, but...
Yes, but we're not dealing with him yet, so it wasn't...
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I go into the guy's house, yeah.
Yeah. So there is a fireplace in a cobbled together stone chimney type thing.
Yep.
Over which he has a pot. The fire is not currently going.
If there is a seat, I take it. Like, I just sit down in it.
Yes, there is a seat. There appears to be a stump that was removed from the ground that acts as a seat where it is.
Yeah, so I sit down, I start rubbing my leg, and I'm like, so, it's quite a nice little place you've got here.
Yeah, there are racks that upon which you can see skins of small game, two of which that you don't necessarily recognize. And there's some plants drying on a sort of herb rack. I mean, it looks like he's got basically survival supplies going on, so to speak.
Okay. I make note of any supplies that I don't actually recognize myself, and see if I can recognize their use for him, at least anyway. So as a survival man myself, sort of thing. So.
Well, why don't you roll survival?
Okay, I can do that. Wow. I'm too busy rubbing my leg, man. Like, it hurts. So.
You give a cursory glance over the herbs, and you don't recognize any of them right away. You also don't recognize the origin animal of the large fur pelt blanket that's on the bed.
Okay.
So, who knows?
So what's he doing in the house right now?
He's just hung up his machete on a little hook on the wall. And it looks like he's just sort of looking around at his stuff in the way that someone might look for the fine china to put out, but he's not finding anything.
So it's all right, friend. I'm not here for pleasantries mostly.
Oh yeah. Well, is anybody else hungry or anything?
Don't worry about them. They're not important. I wave off the mafioso guys. I don't wave them off. I just sort of dismiss them with my hand, sort of thing. Don't worry about those guys. Don't worry about those guys. I want to get straight to the point, if you don't mind.
There's a point.
Yes. You see, you've lived here for quite a while, and obviously you've done quite a bit of exploring around the region, I assume. I would like to know what you know. And I'm willing to trade for that information.
I don't know what I know that you're interested in.
Hi, Frank.
Awesome, cool.
Yeah. Okay. Mostly, I want your information about the layout of this region, in particular the ins and outs of the valley, and anything that you can tell us about the further regional explorations that you've done outside of this sort of Shangri-La stuff.
Well, the forest here in the middle, sort of just underneath the monastery, is it's full of life. Plants and animals survive quite easily. A lot of excess. It's very fertile. It's very alive and good meat, good plants. To the top of the valley, the opposite way from where you can go up and down on the cliff, the other side of the forest from where you came in, there's a smaller secondary village on a river up there. Sometimes I visit. They're a little bit like me. They weren't as interested in what the monks have going on.
Interesting. So there's a whole nother establishment of people. That's very interesting. I just want to remember where that is, obviously, because I'm trying to picture the map in my mind and I can't remember it right now. So
he's basically just saying it's on the other side from where you came in of the forest. If you kept going through the forest, you would come to a place where there isn't forest and presumably another village on a river.
Okay, interesting. And what about anything outside of this like valley thing? I'm more interested in sort of potentially going deeper into whatever this region is outside of the control of the monks, I guess you could say. We are particularly looking for an object, and yeah, I'm interested in finding it. Yeah, but I feel like we need to get away from these.
Well, if you're looking for an object, I mean, the monks, they got a lot of that sort of stuff.
Interesting. Do you know where they keep this sort of stuff?
There's a... Huh. I mean,
if I need to do like an interrogation check here or something like that, I can totally do that, by the way.
It doesn't seem like he's unwilling to present information.
But like more like pressing him in the right direction, sort of, to get him to talk about stuff. Even like
that's it. That's it. Like interrogation would be to get him to say things he's not willing to say. Okay. He's willing to say it. He's just having trouble communicating it.
Okay. Well, maybe if I can like, I don't know how to do that right now. But if there is something like if I look at the skills section here, within like investigation, there is what is it? What was it? There was one here that was like talking to people and getting them to talk to you about stuff. That might have been intimidation.
It's interrogation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll keep going.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen where they keep things.
Oh? Do you reckon you could tell me?
Well, that's sort of the thing. I saw it, and I don't know where. Well, I mean, it's kind of a long story.
I've got nothing but time, friend. Please.
Well, I wasn't here in the valley, which is a nice place. It's pretty nice to be. I was somewhere else, though. I don't quite reckon where. The sun never set there either, though. So I imagine.
Do you mean outside of this valley?
Well, I don't rightly know. Well, so here's the thing. I was on a what was I? I was sort of people paid me to take them through harsh terrain.
Okay. Could you describe the terrain for me? Was it called?
Oh, he's a lawyer.
It was Africa. I took people through sub-Saharan Africa for money. And okay. It was some rich guys, pleasure safari. Nothing too fancy, nothing too dangerous. He just wanted to bag some big game and move on to the next whatever passing thing. A weird storm rolled in. I've seen downpours before, but this one was a little excessive. and it wasn't really the rainy season. We hadn't prepared the campsite for torrential rain. And the water just sort of, all at once, it picked up. And it picked up the camp and the people in the camp. I don't know what happened to everybody else. They might have drowned. But when I came to, I didn't recognize the trees. I was on the bank of a river I didn't know. Sounds weren't familiar to me. As the day went on, I noticed the sun wasn't moving out of the sky. So I was pretty. Gosh, what's the word?
Disorientated?
Yeah, I was very disoriented. But survival mode sort of kicks in. I did my best, but the plants were strange. I didn't recognize what was safe to eat. I tried to set some traps, but everything was a little too big or a little too strong, if I recognized it at all. I wasn't doing very well at all. It was hard to sleep with the sun in the sky all the time. But I came to a ruin. Didn't look like it was African at all. It was, gosh, what are those? The people from.
Is this out
it's
of
not.
character?
No, this is in character. What are those? They're the north of Africa on the Mediterranean Sea. What are those guys? The famous historical ones.
Mafia. Oh, wait, never mind.
I'm not sure what you're talking about, friend, but please continue.
Well, it was their style. It looked more like them than anything I've seen in Africa.
Egyptians.
Well, yeah, but Rex doesn't know. Rex does not know much about history, so yeah.
It looked like their style of thing, and I thought maybe shelter from some of the bigger insects. I went wandering through the place, and it was like a big circle of stone. Like it really didn't look like it should have been able to hold itself up. But it was there, and I thought it might be a good place to.
Is this motherfucker at Stonehenge somehow?
I thought it'd be a good place to set up a hammock in the archway of it, and so I was messing around with some rope, and I don't really know what happened next, but there was a flash of light, and the ruin was shaded, but then all of a sudden everything was really quite dark. And it felt damp and cold. And I wandered around for a little while. I saw a light up ahead. I headed for it. And I saw these doors. They were quite... they looked like... they looked like they were made out of metal, shiny, polished sort of look to them. And I thought, there's sort of light coming from the other side. I thought that might be a place with some people, some fire or something. So I opened the door, and it looked like gosh, it's where you keep if you're an army, you keep all your weapons.
Armory.
Yes. Yeah, armory. It looked like an armory, but nothing looked like any weapon that I mean, some of it was books, and some of it was strange statues or jewelry, but it all looked like it was kept under lock and key, so to speak. And that's when some of the monks showed up, and I gather one of them hit me across the head. I woke up in their monastery. I mean, my head didn't hurt or anything. They fed me, and they gave me the whole. The whole thing about not being able to leave. But honestly, this place is a real step up. I don't really. I don't mind so much. I don't like them. They hit me, and I don't really know where that was. But I gather that's where if you're looking for a specific thing here, that's probably in that room.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense now. Thank you very much for that explanation. Is there anything else about the valley that you might know of? Like maybe you found more of these places that take you other places?
No, I've kept to this this forest, and all I've found is different kinds of wildlife that I never knew about. The monks helped me figure out which herbs and plants are safe to eat, and I've been able to, get along just fine out here on my own. There's been nothing else of, all the most interesting stuff is up on that cliff with the village and the monastery. But I don't know. Could be someone at the river village who knows whatever more.
Okay, thank you very much for your information. You've been very helpful.
Yeah. Thanks too, I guess.
Well, I guess we'll get out of your hair. I turn to
okay.
Well, maybe you should seek out some human contact. I wouldn't suggest going back to the village with the monastery, because those guys are kind of dicks. But this other village you talk about, that seems kind of nice. Maybe have you tried to live there before?
Oh, I visit occasionally, but
is there any reason why you don't stay there?
It's not really my speed.
And what speed is that?
Well, I've I don't know. Just doesn't
fast. That's the speed.
It just doesn't feel right over there.
Okay. Well, I'll take your word for it. But thank you very much. You enjoy whatever it is that you do here. Let's go. I start walking out the door.
The mafiosos will follow you, and he'll just be so look around, shuffle his feet a little bit, grab his machete again, and as you guys walk off into the distance, you hear his door close, and he heads off into the forest, presumably to another of his traps. And with that, we will take our break.
Yeah, I agree. So guys, as I said, this is the game day for Die Party. We've got 2 games back to back for this, so you know what? If you stick around for a lot longer, you're gonna get a hell of a lot of role-playing today. So stick around. We'll be back in about 3 to 5 with the second hour for Hex, but there's a lot more to come later on today.